Right then, we are back on build server doing some more game light style crazy things. And in this case we're going to do a turret pod. It's a turret pod I've not seen anywhere before apart from sort of using it in wipes. But it feels like it's about time to share it with some people. I don't think people quite understand what's going on when they see it. But nice and easy, usual, tuck that in nice. One of these, one of these, one of these. I do explain better on the last video on sort of exactly how you're doing this stuff. But you'll notice I've used 2 wall frames there instead of walls. And we're going to do the same on this side. Wall frame, wall frame, wall frame, wall frame. And then jump up here. This is where it gets a little strange. I would recommend popping that on first. And then you go for one of these. One of these. And then lock it in. Ooh. Lock it in. You can come around here, get a bit fancy with your jumping. Or fail. And there's probably a million ways to get up there. Pop your lid on. Pop your wall on there. Start removing some bits. Stone that one up. But you don't want to stone that up, because that's actually the high wall. This one then can come out. And you want to stone everything up. From here, simple enough. Come on up. You can put your floor piece in connected to this one. Get yourself a TC. Pop in here somewhere. Pop your wall on. And boom. And then you've got a few options as always. So you can use your... I use this one almost all the time because you can get out of a box on the side of the road nice and easy. Pop it on there somewhere. Just grab a gun just to make this a bit easier. Fucking already. Then have a little look through your little gap. There it is. But then what we want to do here, now you know TC is accessible, it's all working. Get rid of all this rubbish. Make that in stone as well, probably. And then... first one I think, probably the simplest and one of the most annoying. If you've got a few of these dotted outside your base. You might choose to leave the top open if, for example, there's, you know, hills and mountains here and people might get into spots within range above. But also it does obviously leave it a little bit more open to being shot out. So I would normally close them all. And then onto the funsy funds. So you get yourself a couple of turrets. Bum bum bum. Pop some, let's go on there. One there, so that's your 360-degree coverage. And tier 1 blueprints as well, so they're not too bad to get hold of. You should find... Ooh, construction. A couple of these. And a couple of these. And it depends how you want to do things. You can obviously make a door path. So you might just have, say, one door there, and ooh, one in the middle. Okay, put in 2 of those. And then the rest, your turret pods, Invincible, 360-degree coverage, you got your TC up there for you. Obviously a billion different ways you can do the electrics. I've had a habit of using windmills, even though it's just 2 turrets, and then I might use that to run off some turrets on other little buildings and things. You could obviously just put some sort of a simple setup. Well, you know what? There's enough electronics sort of videos and bits and pieces out there that I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out on your own. And if you do have any struggles or you want me specifically to help you figure it out, then honestly I'm more than up for that. I'll even go live, let's do it. But yeah, just so when you've got your full rocket, it's only that price. And then if you go around and change everything, obviously same as always, you can lock that up by having sheet metal and one of those. You can't look through it, and then when you change it back to sheet metal, which you can do anytime, you can unlock the bunker and then close it back up. So yeah, change it back to 8 rocket bunker on here. And realistically, you can do that by just doing the bunker itself, obviously the floor piece, and then the legs they're on, and this here. I would always suggest making the foundations all metal, to be honest. In fact, I personally can't be bothered to stock up on 2 different materials, so I'll just do everything metal. In theory, that's the sort of minimum you could do. And then this one here. Ooh. Flying inverse is very strange. And what are we saying, Mr. TC? So, still, absolute bargain. Only 1,616 days if you've got this much in your TC. And if we go full metal, and total, there we are, 500 a day. Not too bad for 360-degree coverage. And you can't shoot those out. Someone can't sit on the mountain, shoot them out or anything. They've got to deal with the gates and the turrets before they're going to be able to just wander on past. Get yourself 2 bolty turrets in there, or 2 AKs with silencers is a personal favourite of mine. It really upsets people, gets PvP going in the area. So quite literally this, but we're going to get rid of... How do I get rid of it? Oh no! No! So the idea on this one, again, surprise surprise, I think this is adapted from something that GameLights did on his gatehouses on one of his later spaces, which obviously if you haven't been there already, get on those bases. Yeah. Get yourself one of these. Put it in backwards like I always do. It doesn't actually make any difference, just I've never known how to make sure it's the right way. And then on these ones instead, you can start with your metal doors, and they're actually a bit quicker for some circumstances, but I would probably always stick with garage doors if you can. Very neat. That will actually annoy me, so I'm just going to pop that on it. Amazing. You can even put a couple of boards. Yeah, when it decides to be good to you. It might be because the locks are on there. But in theory, you can cover it up like that without the gap. But then... See, I've done these with a windmill on, just because I'm a bit of a pleb. I don't know what it is, I just can't help it myself. So I actually normally build straight up there, and then I have a bunker nearby with a large battery in which will be supplying the power. But you could realistically do anything, and I've had it a few times with even a setup as simple as this. Generally, with these things, point north, especially if you're in the bottom of the map, but it's almost always north-ish, apparently. So you'd normally need 1 for each. Pair your door controller down here. Jump on in the safety of your little house. Chuck this somewhere nearby. Unlock the door. Press the button, it goes green. Lock the door. Same idea. Unlock. Pair. Lock. And you can set these up a bit fancy so they'll both open, but I found it's generally been sort of better actually to not have that. What I do is I find, if I can, I'll plot this slightly in a lower bit of land so that it comes up and about, so you can run the wiring through the land without it being seen, without it being remotely obvious. And somewhere along here, wherever you fancy really, but like say you got a nice little bush there, pop it in, and to the battery I didn't even place. Yeah, grab yourself power out. Obviously you can make this a bit neater if you like. Pop in the power in of the battery. And power out. I say try and hide it through some rocks, get it through you know, so it's not obvious, it's not seen. You might have to zigzag it a bit through some sort of bushes, and most of the time you can get into the actual landscape. And then when you actually get onto this thing as well, usually don't do it right in, because you can get it a little lower somewhere nearby. Hide it properly. Solar panel supplies power to the battery. Battery supplies power to this. And then on the other side, run that back, try and hide it again. But then you're coming up to this door controller. Then we close this door. This is the weirdest layout ever. If you hold E on it, each of these treat them like a separate menu. So you've got exclude authorized. That's basically ignore. I basically ignore it. Yeah, exclude authorized is what it's the button I'd be pressing. So if I press exclude authorized, it will exclude authorized. At the moment, the door's open because it's including me. So if I exclude authorized, it'll now close because it doesn't know I'm here. See, and now randomly it swaps around and confuses things. But just treat them as two separate things. So again, this is the include authorized. Authorized is always us, anyone who's on the TC, me and my buddies. And if I was to press that, it would include us again. So even though it switches for some weird reason, so exclude authorized when you know what you're doing, and then check for the other one, which is about the others. So there's authorized and others. Look for others again. So it's on exclude. We want it on include, which means it is on include now. Because if I press that, it'll then exclude. I don't know why it's quite so confusing. It doesn't. I don't know why it feels so confusing. It might not be. It might just be me. But yeah, look for the others or the authorized. You want to make sure you're not included. I mean, in fact, it depends. Like for your base, for your front of your actual base, you might decide. And in fact, I do this as well on the front door of the base. Include authorized and unauthorized. That way, every time you're on your way home, it opens. You can jump straight in. Turret keeps you covered while you're doing it anyway. And I do that actually on the jump up into my house pretty much all the time. Yeah, 310 metal a day. For all 360 degrees covered, this is basically my outdoor TC setup these days, rather than the usual. So hopefully someone will get some enjoyment out of that. Let's say that's the edge of your base, and then that's your multi-TC over there. Whenever you're on the end, you can basically add your honeycomb to any base. Doing a game like this is good old bunkers, but we're going to make it a double. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do these as well, because why not? Just makes it easier for the future. And then you're coming off triangle here, putting a square. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Boom. And get rid of that. Squares back. Just make sure the patterns are all the same with these stone things. So just, you can see they're same. That's just a handy momentary tip. I've always found it's easiest to walk up to the end of here and then just look left at this. As long as you're looking at this, you should get the stone texture here, which happy days is correct. And we run back, destroy these. Keep the last one. Doesn't matter if you break it, you can put it back on. 9 again. Again, just making sure the stone's all the same so it hasn't accidentally connected to the other side rather than here. 2 cheeky half walls. From the bottom here, make sure you do that bit of roof. And I always just half wall up because it doesn't get in the way. Check that these place on top, which is usually a good sign it's going to work. But then I usually check it's under 11 or 11 or under anyway. That was correct, so we can actually take those off for a moment. In fact, actually, let's make sure it works, shall we? And let's make sure it works in stone, because we're not in game and we don't care about costs. There we are. In theory, we can get rid of all this. But to be honest, half the time I leave that there, just so that I don't accidentally build in the space and make my bunker unopenable. So this could be on the, like I say, imagine this is just on the edge of your base as well. And then when you put your roof piece in here, come on game, catch up. Oh. Hey! Some of these build servers do go a bit slow. In game that'll be instant every time. And then, what I also do here is I personally get them to metal again, so it's every time it's an 8 rocket bunker if someone wants one of your batteries, and to be honest, no one even realises they're in here. But come down here, pop your 2 on, make sure again that it's 11 or lower, and just check. It's usually from in here, but sometimes it seems to change up. I'm not sure exactly what causes it, but it depends whether you put this wall from this side or this side, whether or not it'll break the bunker. So here, still 11%, perfect. So what I would do is ladder out, well, yeah, ladder out, but in this case I'm not going to bother. And then we come down this side, do the same, pop the wall in, still 11, perfect. Just to show you what happens if you get it wrong. So in this case, if I do it from this side first, it goes to 20%, I lock my bunker up, they're both lost forever. Okay, so it should be, but double check that it's still 11-11. And then we can stone everything up, or metal, or whatever it is you want to do. Just make sure if you are going to go to metal at some point, do this in a sort of foundation, these walls, as soon as you can, so that you don't get stuck with like a bit of stone in your upkeep that you can't get to afterwards. So yeah, that's that. And then instead of having to worry even about having any extra on here, you can actually have 2 electric bunkers. And just to show you why I use this, it is much better than just anything I've ever seen. It's a bit finicky to do. I have a habit of falling in the hole sometimes, but there we are. And each bunker, don't put it on these sides because that's your honeycomb. Someone's booming in, likely to blow that off, blows all your electronics apart. Put them on this side on your actual base wall. As many things as you can. Wire it all up. Try and hide it through bushes. Make sure people don't notice it's coming out of here. Maybe, you know, just straight into the base and up so people assume it's in your corridors like where everyone else keeps them. It's a lot of power. Separate 8 rocket bunker. Boom, lock him up. And then say run some wires through the bushes and whatnot. Get these turrets going, maybe a few things over that side. You know, have one of these for your inside lights and maybe a few turrets on each. And to be honest, I would actually recommend, if you've got no reason not to, save a space for honeycomb on every side of your base and just keep adding them in. If you want to see one of those, if you want one of those compounds, which is quite literally a sea of windmills. Yeah. I think that works as far as bonus turret box bases go. Perfect. Thanks. Ooh, and I have to do YouTube stuff now and say like, subscribe, comment, and do things, because it will help me do something I don't understand because I'm too lazy and just enjoy making videos. Goodbye.